Aboriginal visual art. So our program is a unique program, I think. It is a program that offers a background in historical knowledge, but also has a very huge hands-on approach towards traditional technique in art and craft. Adult learners, so anybody that has graduated from high school or meets the GED requirements, or kind of meets those requirements for admission. Any age from 17, 18 years old. Currently, I think our oldest student just turned 61. The aim of the program is to give opportunity, provide opportunity for Indigenous people to be able to refine a skill in order to kind of move forward in practicing those skills, and to be able to provide for themselves, for a family, and to pass on those traditional techniques and crafts and art. I think we work really hard to make sure that we're passing on appropriate information and trying to, we encourage our students to kind of push past any of those boundaries that they may have of their own, in building confidence at the same time. And I think our approach is one that encourages our students to really figure out what their path is in creating their own path, that they have the ability to do that, and we try to help build those skills to do that. We really try to use outdoor learning as well, which I think is different than a lot of other institutions. We're outside as often as we can, as long as weather allows us to do that, to do so. And also by reaching out and using our outside resources, I think is really important. So we try to kind of open up that circle of resources for them, and to understand that they are a force of their own, but that we can, as a community, we can learn from each other as well. I think success, if I were to kind of try to measure success of our program, it would be the continued expression that our students do outside of our program and outside of our school. Still learning, still continuing a learning process once they leave here, passing on what they've learned here, being confident about what they've learned here. That would be probably one of the biggest things, is just a continuation of passing on knowledge. Indigenous education is really taking a different approach than what institutions are used to doing. And so, it's kind of stepping outside of those square boundaries, I guess. Stepping outside of our comfort zones, sometimes that are in place, pushing the limits sometimes with Indigenous education, focusing on traditional use, focusing on ceremony, extended learning, and using at the same time our past experience, and our past, our knowledge that we have from the past. Oral tradition is really important, and really recognizing the role that those things have had in our lives, and ensuring that it continues on. My vision for Indigenous education over the next 10 years would be to continue reaching out and utilizing those resources that we have within our community, within our nations as well, to kind of try and open up those pathways. And I think one of the things that I kind of have realized over the years is that we don't reach out as often as what we could or should to our elders. And so, our stories are getting lost, and those techniques and learning how to make a basket, learning how to properly harvest from a birch tree, learning those songs. Those are, we need to continue to reach out to that. And I think when we start to do that, when we really start to utilize the members from our communities, we give value back to them. And, of course, we give value back to ourselves at the same time. So if I were to look ahead down 10 years, it would be stronger connections to the land, stronger connections to our communities, stronger connections to our people, and the knowledge that they have is that's valuable. So what I try to do in my attempt in the classroom is really to provide the tools for my learners to continue on down that path. That's kind of how I function in the classroom, and because, trying to give that, going back, a little bit, it's trying to provide those tools so that each person realizes that they have value. And when you feel that way and you build that confidence, there's power there. I have pretty good access to elders, and it's something that I've done on my own in maintaining relationships with outside sources, like from the institution, I guess. So my own personal community involvement, my own personal practice when it comes to ceremony, maintaining those connections in that way, super important. I go to as many outside events as I can, and I always encourage learners to go to those outside events as much as possible. So that for me, that's a huge part of how I maintain those connections as well.